In December 1776, George Washington and the Colonial Army had been pushed out of New York and across the Delaware River. Washington and his council of war decided that they would attack a group of Hessian troops in the town Trenton, New Jersey.
Washington and his council decided that the attack would be on the morning of December 26th, and the army would cross the river on Christmas Day. This would be a key attack, as the colonists' morale was low, and the enlistment for over half of the colonial troops was going to end at the beginning of 1777. This attack was a way for Washington to change momentum and strengthen the morale of the colonies.
When Washington and his army prepared to cross the Delaware, Thomas Paine wrote his second pamphlet, The Crisis, and wrote,
"These are times that try a man's souls. The summer soldier and sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of their country. But he that stands it now deserves the love and the thanks of men and women."
Washington planned to have 3 groups of soldiers cross the Delaware, with one creating a diversion, one blocking the exit to Trenton, and the other leading the main attack. These 3 groups would lead to the Hessian soldiers being either killed or captured.
On the night of December 25th, Hessian commander Colonel Johann Rall decided not to send out patrols that night, thinking that it was too cold and frigid for the colonists to ever attack. At the same time, Washington led 2,400 men across the Delaware. However, the forces that were going to create a diversion and block the exit of Trenton were unable to cross the icy river, so Washington would have to use the element of surprise to capture Trenton.
Washington had the army march in 3 columns, with John Stark, Nathanael Greene, and Washington himself leading them. When Washington arrived, artillery began to fire on Trenton. German drums woke the sleeping Hessians as they began to form ranks. Colonel Rall tried to outflank the colonists, but Washington and his army overpowered the Hessian troops, and the colonists won Trenton.
Colonel Rall was mortally wounded, as 22 Hessians died and 83 were wounded. 900 Hessian troops were captured, however 500 would escape due to the missing parts of the colonist army. Only 2 Americans were killed, leading to the biggest colonist victory up to that time, and changing the tide of war for the colonists. The next week, Washington and the army would win a decisive victory at Princeton, which would show the British that capturing New York wouldn't be enough to win.
After the battles of Trenton and Princeton, Washington was able to get most of his troops back for longer enlistment time. General William S. Stryker would summarize the effort of the army and said,
"Nowhere in the annals of warfare can be found a counterpart of the winter campaign of Washington and his army in 1776 and 1777. That army, which left the vicinity of New York a ragged, starved, defeated, demoralized band, which passed through the Jerseys and over the river, then dashed upon the Hessian advance, punished the flank of the British line, doubled on its own bloody tracks to the village of Princeton, and at last marched into the quarters an army of victory."
The Battle of Trenton showed the heroics that Washington and the colonial army were able to make throughout the war, and would change the tide of war for the colonial army.